Welcome back. It is Tuesday. Appreciate you being with us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News and Kevin Brockway from CNHI Papers with me now. Couple things. The college football playoff talks were also going on, and I'm trying to pull it back up, but was it Bob Bowlesby who walked out of the talks from the Big 12, got PO'd and left?
Yeah, I hadn't read that he did that. I know that he was the first to emerge, and I'm not saying it didn't. I didn't have a lot of time with everything going on yesterday to read much more than tweets about what happened. So I was not aware that he left in a huff, but I do know that he was the first to exit the room. Bill Bender from Sporting News was among the many college football writers who was outside that room waiting for them to talk about it. And Bob did come out, and he was frustrated. I know that because he wants to see this expand. And George Kliavkoff from the Pac-12, I mean, they put out a statement that said basically any expansion format you want to do, we're good. We'll do it. Let's just get this thing bigger because this is not working. And he's right. I think I don't know what's being heard from the group of five. If it's anything other than yes to an expansion of 8 or 12, then they're fools, greedy fools. Because, okay, I'm going to give you something you don't have now and essentially have no shot at. Or you can stay with what you have now, which is nothing. And you say no to that, well, that's just foolish. So where's the hang up? I know that the ACC wants 8. I don't know why. I don't really understand why, other than, because the ACC in a 12-team scenario has more opportunities to get in, just as everybody else does. The ACC certainly never going to get, as they're currently constructed, a second team into the field with 4. So with 12, you have the opportunity. With 8, highly unlikely. So I don't understand what their hang up is. And I think that they're, I'm bothered that they're playing silly semantic games over the automatic bids. It's the Power 5 and 1. That's the way it ought to be. I mean, again, who are we kidding? If you're going to do the 6 highest rated conference champions, in order to make it most fair, it should be the 6 champions of the highest rated conferences, not one team out of 12 or 14 or whatever breaks out and has a really good year because everybody in their league has no shot at them. And meanwhile, someone else is locked in a battle with 2 or 3 other good teams and winds up with 2 losses and doesn't rank as high. I mean, let's be realistic about this. Again, don't be greedy. Don't be foolish, because all of this is going to mean more opportunity for the smaller conferences and more money for everybody. If someone out there is saying 12 with no automatic bids, that's where you draw the line. That's a ridiculous plan. But I don't think that's what the hang up is. It's more about, is it the 6 highest rated conference champions, or is it the Power 5 and 1?
I was hearing from Greg Sankey too. I think the automatic qualifiers, the AQs, were really the main sticking point at this point, and sitting in on that round table. And he mentioned some other things too. He just basically said that if everyone wants what's on their Christmas list, there's not going to be a Christmas. He spoke with the reporters yesterday at 3:00, and I managed to hop in there. Television partners, I know that he made it sound like, hey, look, if, when the contract expires in 2025 and you leave it to the open marketplace and, whoever bids the highest should get them. And if that's going to be multiple TV partners, that could certainly help the point, because I know that Fox certainly wants to get involved with their Big Ten and, Pac-12 and Big 12 ties as well.
Yeah, you've got the Fox, who is now trying to be, and they are a big player, obviously, but equal to, or not, I don't know if they can succeed ESPN, but from the head start that they have, but they have the money to do it, I guess, and they have the Big Ten, which is a very, very important property to them. So they want to expose that property as much as they can.
Yeah, I think I think the TV issue is something that that particular leagues are concerned about. I think they want to be sure that whatever is done doesn't impact the ability to take the whole enterprise to the open market at the end of this contract, and so that I think that's an issue. But this should not be a hard negotiation. And again, the reality is that it's harder to win the Pac-12 than it is to win the Mountain West. Who are we kidding? I mean, come on. It's harder to win the Pac-12 than it is to win the American. No one believes otherwise. It is, and it will become more so. I get really frustrated when people think, okay, if I hang on here, I might get more, and then usually what it means is no one gets anything. Just use common sense. The Pac-12, Big Ten, Big 12, SEC, ACC, and then the best of the other 5 conferences. And if you happen to get a season in which, somehow, I don't know, let's say San Diego State has this monster team, then there's and then so does at the same time Cincinnati. There's still 12 teams out there. It's still possible to get them in, but it's never happened ever. I mean, I understand that this year, according to the CFP rankings, that one of the Power 5 would have been excluded. But again, that's what I talk about in regards to, at the end of the day, it's still harder to win that Pac-12 than it is for, and I'm not even sure which was the extra team that was good enough. I would have to actually look at the rankings. But whoever that team wasn't, didn't have as difficult a time winning its league as the team that won the Pac-12, even in a down year.